What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Odd Talks and Gaming. Today I'm going over my first place deck profile for a Speed Duel custom Banlist tournament that I just was in. We're going to be going over the deck and the 3 matches that I played. So if you guys are hyped for this type of episode, make sure you leave a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more of this content, and make sure you comment if you have any questions or have any comments you want to say. So I'm going to go over this ban list first, that way you guys understand why my deck looks the way that it does. Limited, meaning at 1 for this ban list, is Sphere Karibo, which was really cool. Zombina, Magnetic Field to kill the Magnet deck, the Parasite Paranoid to kill the Moss deck, the Union Scramble to kill the Union deck. So all 3 of those decks are kind of out of the question. I did not want to use them. Night Assailant, so I didn't want to use Viral Despair. Jinzo, so I was like, alright, I can't make a tribute stun deck. Zoma, so I was like, oh, okay, one of the best cards in the game actually got hit. Konami should do something like that. And then Nightmare Wheel, which was a newly added one to this Banlist tournament. Semi-limited, meaning they're at 2 in this format, is Breaker the Magical Warrior, Book of Life, Haunted Shrine, and Book of Moon. So all these cards can only be played at 2 in your deck, while all the limited cards can only be played at 1 in your deck. So, taking into hindsight of this entire list, the one thing I noticed is that it addressed Spellproof Armor, which I feel like is a very powerful deck, but not in the way that I feel it should have. It did address the Jinzo, which is an insane card in Speed Duels, but the card it didn't address is Ally of Justice Colossaless, which is literally in Spellproof Armor a 1-drop 2300 beater, and it's the better Gaia the Fierce Knight deck in my opinion. Let me full screen this for you guys. This card is just with this skill, is just a 2300 beater that runs over anything. I feel like this card could have gone to 2 on this list. It didn't go to 2, so originally when I was deck building, one of the first things I thought of was, how can I abuse Allure of Darkness? How can I play this card at 3, because it's not on the list, and it's our Pot of Greed of the format. But then I was like, alright, well, Allure of Darkness could be abused, but I feel like I want to play what I think is the best deck in this format, which is the Spellproof Armor deck. So the only thing that I really thought was, like, if somebody else played Spellproof, like, I'm going to have some sort of issue, but that's why I have in-deck outs to it and why my side deck looks the way that it does. But going over this list, number 1 on the list is our 3 Ally of Justice Colossaless, or Ally of Justice Big Bird, whatever you want to call it. This card's really cool, 2300 beater, 1200 defender. Like I said before, you can normal summon it with your skill, Spellproof Armor. I should probably bring that up, even though I know what it does. I'm sure most of you do, but just in case you don't, I'll bring it up. There we go. That's 2 words. I'm an idiot. Activate a skill during your main phase. All machine monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's spell effects. You can normal summon machine normal monsters with 1 less tribute. If a non-machine monster is in your graveyard, flip the skill over. The skill can only be used once per duel. So yeah, they're just, unaffected by spell cards. Biggest reason why I wanted to play this was because they're unaffected by spell cards. And then, you can normal summon the big guy for no reason. I'm also playing double Blastsphere and double Dekochi, and I play them in tangent with each other for a very funny reason. So if I play the Dekochi, the biggest thing is, if I end up setting the Dekochi, my opponent attacks into it, and I draw one, the opponent's going to think I'm just main decking Dekochi. So if I set the Blastsphere later, then it's going to be like one of those things where my opponent's going to think it's the Dekochi and attack into the Blastsphere, when really it's not. It's actually a Blastsphere. I also use it as bait for my Allure of Darkness, which I play at 1 in the deck. And so what I'll do is I'll draw, and then banish the Dekochi and set the Blastsphere. That way they think I'm just setting a Dekochi. All this is just a bait. It's just a big bait to try to get my opponents to attack into Blastspheres. Blastspheres obviously get sided out if I'm in the Spellproof matchup, and usually I would side them out for the Floodgate Trap Hole. That way, they're just stuck in defense mode. Ally of Justice can usually climb over it. Like, there's no big deal with it. And the reason why is just because they're unaffected by spell effects. When Blastsphere is attacked, it becomes an equipped spell card, so that's kind of the downside to it. Dekochi draws the card when it's flipped, and then Jinzo is at 1 in this deck due to the ban list, which is fine by me. And yeah, so going on to our spell and trap list, let me put all these single spells by themselves. Alright, so our double spells is Book of Moon, obviously because it's at 2. Night Beam, that way we can get rid of powerful spell and trap cards on the field. 3 Summoner's Art, that way we can play our Big Bird at 6. 1 United We Stand, and 1 Shrink. Now, I was originally in this deck list playing 2 Shrink, but again, I wanted to have that main deck out for the Spell for Proof matchup if I would run into it. And that was why I played the one of United We Stand. Now, this card's really cool. You gain 800 attack for each face-up monster, and defense for each face-up monster you control. So you just make your big bird into a 3100 beater, and what's your opponent going to be able to do about it? Not much, if anything at all. Shrink is just in case, damage step quick play spells are really, really powerful in speed duels. So being able to have your opponent's attack during the damage step is really, really strong. And especially when you're playing monsters with this much attack that you have very consistent plays to. Like I said before, the allure is for the bait. And then we're moving on to the traps, which are both the one of traps in this ban list. The Nightmare Wheel and the Zoma. They're too good not to be playing at one. You'll hear me bitch about Zoma every single, video that I have to bring it up, but I don't think this card should be in speed duels, but it's really powerful, and so I want to make sure I'm playing it in every deck I play. Nightmare Wheel is also one of those cards that we could argue shouldn't be in speed duels, but it's here, and I would much rather have had Nightmare Wheel over Zoma, but we got both, so oh well. Nightmare Wheel is also in format 1. This was to prevent burn decks from coming out, which makes sense. Both of your best burn cards are hit. Like, digging for gold at this point wasn't going to be like a main deck. And that's pretty much why I'm playing both of these cards. The side deck lineup is a little interesting because I wasn't sure what I was going to be playing against. So I played Cosmic Cyclone at 1 instead of the usual 2. And I actually used my usual Cosmic Cyclone spot for Spell Shattering Arrow. And in all honesty, I wasn't really sure what people were going to bring to this, so I wasn't sure if I was going to be seeing the field spell decks, like, Union Combination or Magnetic Field, but I didn't see them, but I didn't know if they were going to play, and if I had this card to just immediately out it, then it's like, alright, cool, you lose 500 life points and you're one of field spell, like, how are you going to get that back? And yeah, that's the reason why I played it. Cosmic Cyclone's just in here for spell and trap decks. Biggest one was that I could think of was a burn deck. Even though both the burn cards were hit, it was Gravekeeper Burn could have still played, and I was just worried about getting curse burned. Soul Release again, just in case I ran into a stall deck that was playing double Zombina, or I think Zombina's at 1. Playing one of Zombina, and yeah, I was just worried that I was going to run into some sort of giant rat stall deck. Floodgate Trap Holes at 2. That's literally, this is just for the spell proof matchup. I wanted to make sure that I could, slide out the Blast Spheres. And if I played against any trap heavy decks, even though Jinzo's it's mainly because Jinzo's at 1 that would run into a trap heavy deck, right? So that was my thought process. Everybody's going to be playing traps. Let me play Psychic Shockwave. That way I can trap stun them. I play a lot of spell cards that I can end up discarding to get them out. So that way I can stop the opponent from playing trap cards against me. Extra deck is just a bluff. One might make my opponent think that I have Waking the Dragon. Well, I don't. You don't want to play Waking the Dragon in Spellproof Armor unless you're my friend Alex who plays it in Spellproof Armor. But yeah. Without further ado, I'm going to jump into my round 1 video. So round 1, I'm actually playing against Raw. He goes by Andros on the on Discord. And yeah, he's really cool. Also, I never even said this. The Discord for this is called Speed Duels Tournament. Highly recommend playing in any of their games. I had a lot of fun doing this. They're all really unique. They play DuelingBook tournaments, and they play, remote duels. They play remote duel tournaments. And, like I said, it was really fun. There was only 4 of us that got to play in this, which was really unfortunate. But I would like to have seen, more people. If you guys like this kind of, tournament, definitely check it out. Link's going to be in the description, probably top of the description. That way you guys can just click on it, join the tournaments, and, yeah, maybe you'll see me in a couple of them. So, yeah, without further ado, like I was saying, this is Andros. He's one of the guys I met through this. He's a really cool guy. We've talked a lot. I even paid for his entry because I like this guy so much. So, yeah. We're just going to jump into it. I thought his deck was really, really cool. He entered into the tournament and didn't realize it was a Banlist tournament, I guess. And so I was like, all right, I'll help you out, buddy. And so, we were just like, all right, what are we doing with this? And so I waited, I don't know, 10 minutes of that, and he came back and I had a Banlist deck, which was really cool. Anyway, he's playing Gaia. And I thought Gaia was a really sweet call for this. I didn't even think about Gaia until after he started playing. And I was like, ooh, this is boneless spellproof. I was like, let's go. So he uses the Summoner's Art and grabs his piece, summons the guy in attack mode, and passes turn to me. I'm going to use the spellproof here, obviously, and summon the big bird. activating the United We Stand, putting it to 31, and then setting our, I think this was Zoma? Yeah, our 1 of Zoma face down, and then attacking into the Gaia. He's going to take the full 800 life points here, which I don't understand why he didn't Sphere Kuriboh here. You have an 800 beater, but oh well. Uses the Summoner's Art again, grabs the Gaia once more, and then summons the summons the Breaker. Using the Breaker here, probably to pop the United We Stand. This was like, I don't know, a week ago, I think. So, hitting the United We Stand, and then I'm going to summon Zoma. Drawing into the Allure of Darkness, going to use it for the bait, drawing the 2, banishing the Locomotive, and then adding the Big Birds. Normal summoning the Big Bird, and then setting our Book of Moon face down. Attacking with the Zoma, he's going to take the 200. Attacking with the Big Bird for 2300. He's going to Sphere Kuriboh it, and then attacking again with the Big Bird for 2300. Passing the turn off to the opponent, who draws into the Cosmic Cyclone, sets the Cosmic Cyclone, and then summons the Gaia the Fierce Knight. Enters into the battle phase, and then attacks into the Ally of Justice. Luckily, we drew that Book of Moon off the Allure last turn, so we're going to set it face down. Drawing for turn to another Locomotive, activating the Night Beam, that way we can get rid of the Book of Moon that's not there, and then attack. By the way, I mean that for the Zoma more than anything. Just wanted to make sure that whatever this was, a widespread ruin, anything that it is, I wanted to make sure it was not affecting me. I don't even know if he could have activated it. I don't think Gaia's technically still in the field while it's face down. I don't play that deck enough to know how the set cards work, because every time I play it, I'm playing quick plays for my hand. Ooh, drawing into the Heat Wave to start. But it's okay. We drew double Summoner's Art, so we can Heat Wave us all we want. We actually sided into the Floodgate here because the Gaia was so strong as a 2300 beater. So we're going to set the book into Floodgate, summon the Ally of Justice Colossaless, and then pass turn off to the opponent, drawing into the Cosmic Cyclone, using the Knight of Legend. Can it activate the skill? Apply the following while you control a Gaia the Fierce Knight monster. Yeah, I don't know if it has to be face up or not. Anyway. You cannot activate set cards in your spell and trap card zone. Yeah. Anyway, Cosmic Cyclone's activated. He pays 1,000 life points, banishing the Floodgate, which kind of hurt here, but also didn't because I also had the Book of Moon. But he passed his turn off like that. Doesn't set anything, so I just draw into the Ally of Justice or into the Night Beam. Book of Moon, the guy face down, and then attack into the opponent. And then I attack directly for 2300. He tells me GG, and I'm like, you got this. Like, don't give up on yourself. Anything could happen. Draws into the Summoner's Art, activates the Summoner's Art, and then adds the Gaia the Fierce Knight to hand. Summons the Gaia, sets the Heat Wave, and then proceeds to pass turn here. So I enter the battle phase, I attack into the Gaia. This is where definitely this gets flipped here. I do damage step though because I drew into the Shrink, and then I just shrink the monster. Damage step spells are insane! Yeah, but Andros did really well, or Rawl, whatever you guys want to call him. He did really well, and I had a lot of fun playing him. If you ever see him online, definitely recommend playing against him. That way you guys can both get some practice in. Next on my list is against Zobvid, who is actually the main guy for the Discord. He was playing in the tournament. I think his name's like Mandelson or something like that. Let me pull it up real fast, that way I don't give you guys the wrong information. Yeah, Mandelson, 2004. Don't know if he actually runs this Discord, or if, like, it seems like it's his Discord more than anything. But if it's not his Discord, he's definitely a mod. So he's, you know, a really good guy, really good player. This is honestly, in my opinion, one of the best games I've played in this tournament. And, yeah, I had a lot of fun with this match, so I hope you all enjoy. If you have any questions about the tournaments or anything like that, he's definitely the guy you want to go to. Again, his name is Mandelson 2004, Mandelson 2004. Beats me in rock, paper, scissors. I always lose in rock, paper, scissors. Letting you all know now, if you play me ever in your life, I always choose rock. There you go. You win the die roll every time. Doing the Allure here. Unfortunately, I didn't draw into any dark monsters, so I have to get rid of my Big Bird, but it's okay because I drew the Summoner's Art, and this will allow me to grab the other Big Bird. I'm going to set the Night Beam as a bluff and a Book of Moon, and then I'm going to summon the the Ally of Justice off the spell proof. Anyway, as you can tell, this guy's playing a really unique deck. Like, it was definitely very cool. Draws into the Dark Factory of Mass Production. Uses the skill Into the Darkness Below, which I haven't gone over on this channel yet, so if you guys wanted a profile like that, just let me know. This card just says once per turn, you can discard a normal monster, then draw a card. Or if you have 4 more normal monsters with different names in your hand, add a monster card from your deck to your hand. It's a very, very powerful card. Like, turning any of your monsters into boneless dangers, or like, if you don't know what dangers are, they're a monster into TCG, is like really, really powerful. Just discard, draw them. Like, I mean, I guess it makes more sense if they're like an upstart goblin, like a better upstart. But yeah, I think this card is actually insane. I think we can see this card like later on in speed duels. It's just right now, it's like not that great. Discarding the Gilgar's off the skill to draw one, uses the advanced ritual art, that way he can send the materials from his deck to the graveyard, which is just going to be 2 new fiend monsters. They have to be normal monsters, by the way, for this summon, and it equals the exact level. Summoning the Masked Beast at 3,200 attack points, and then setting 2 Widespread Ruins. These trap cards are really what I was thinking was going to be in this format. So I'm going to use the book here and set it face down. Like, there's nothing I can really do at this moment. Drawing into the Blasphere, I'm going to Night Beam one of the set cards, and then set the Blasphere, but then equipped the United We Stand to the Ally of Justice, thinking I have successfully allied both the Widespreads, and now the face down is probably a spell card. I can't do anything. Nope, the guy drew 2 Widespread. So, yeah, his 1 card out of 2 of mine. Very good trade-off for him. Drawing into the Necrofear, using the Dark Factory of Mass Production. He's going to get back the Lojin, get back the Earthbound Spirit, which was weird to me. And then using it, oh, I guess he discards the Earthbound Spirit here, yeah, the draw one. Drawing into his Ritual Spell, flipping into attack mode, going to standby, and then attacking for 1,800 into my face down, which is the Blasphere. Unfortunately, I couldn't bluff it this match, so it's unfortunate, but hey, whatever. And then I'll take 3,200 to the face. Drawing for turn, I draw into the Nightmare Wheel, which is pretty strong, and then pass turn off to the opponent, draw to the Gilgars. Using the Blasphere here to make him lose 1,800 life points, sending the material to the graveyard. Using the effect of Into the Darkness Below to pitch the Gilgars. And then he's going to add the Dark Necrofear to his hand. He already had it in hand, so I personally would have tried to draw for a Spell Trap Destruction, because you never know what this is. And then he summons it by banishing 3. So he's at 22 and 32. This is definitely gay here, because I can only stop 1 with the Nightmare Wheel. I don't want to reveal that I'm playing the 1 of Nightmare Wheel, so I just end the match off there. Or not the match, the game. So it's now 1-0 versus him. Drawing into my new hand. Drawing our Sided Soul Release, which I didn't think was going to be brought up unless I played against Stall. But looks like it was, because this guy's graveyard oriented. I love when I have random side in my side deck that just works against weird rogue decks. He's going to use Into the Darkness Below here, pitching the Lojin, setting the trap cards, and setting his 1,700 defender face down. I have no monsters. I'm going to Night Beam the face down, which I end up hitting the 1 of Zoma, which is crazy for me. I set the Book of Moon, set the Zoma, set the Shrink, and then I use Spellproof Armor just for shits and giggles. Opponent draws into the Masked Beast, uses Night Beam, and we do an equivalent exchange. Night Beam the Zoma. I didn't want to like have to use any of these. I don't think I even could have. Nope. And then yeah, opponent flips up the Octiclops. I think I take this. I wouldn't see why I wouldn't. Yeah, I go down to 1,800 life points and draw for turn to the Blasphere, which is nice. But he knows I play Blasphere, which is unfortunate. Draws into the Advanced Ritual Art and uses the Advanced Ritual Art to send both of his materials to the graveyard, and then summons the Masked Beast. Entering into battle phase, attacking into the Blasphere, but we Book of Moon it, that way the attack won't go through. He passes turn because he knows it's a Blasphere after that. He just knows. I wish this was the Kochi. I so wish it was. So next I go into the Soul Release. I want to get all these normal monsters out of his graveyard. So I banish all 3 of them. And then the Zoma, and then the Advanced Ritual Ward, just in case he can get him back. And then I normal summon the Ally of Justice. I like this nice one. Yeah, it was good tech. It was good tech. And then I pass turn off there, because I don't want to attack it to the Widespread. I don't have any follow-up if he has it. He does have it. So it's like, he draws into the Dark Necrofear here. So it was definitely going to be able to get it, because it's 3 Fiend monsters from your graveyard. So, oh my god. The Soul Release in hand saves my ass. So he flips the Opticlops, attacks into the Blasphere, which connects, and then he attacks into the ally of Justice Colossaless. Now, this is one of the main reasons why I passed the turn off to him to attack a day using during my turn, because if there's a widespread, I die, and if there's not a widespread, and if he attacks during his turn, I have Shrink during damage step to kill off his Masked Beast. Drawing for turn, drawing into the Floodgate Trap Hole, I set it face down, go into the end phase, and then during his standby phase, Blast Sphere will connect and inflict 1800 damage to the opponent. Only having 2 Fiend Monsters in graveyard here, I'm really hoping he A, doesn't have a Fiend Monster in hand, B, doesn't have Dark Necrofear and a Fiend Monster in hand. Sets the Nightmare Wheel, and then pass the turn off to me. Double Traps is very sus, so I activate the Summoner's Art here. That way I can just grab into my next Colossaless, and then I summon the Colossaless. I do want to let you guys know, I did side in the Psychic card, but I don't think I saw it this game. Oh, I thought he had the double widespread here, so I did the double attack, but with widespread and Nightmare Wheel. So during a standby, I'll take the 500 damage, and then he'll pass turn off to me after setting his bluff face down. I draw into the Summoner's Art. I use it here, drawing into the Allied Justice Colossaless. And I end my turn. Didn't want this to be the other widespread. I definitely got bluffed here. Like, I did not want that to be the other widespread. I draw for turn, drawing into my own Nightmare Wheel, set it face down, and at this point it's like I can stall him, if anything, because I have to. So I attacked directly, and both cards were a bluff, and I was like, nice. Alright, cool. Game 3 it is. Like, oh my god, the bluffs there were, like, insane. I was so scared. I was like, am I going to lose this match? Is this thing actually, like, cracked? So, going into the next match, he forces us to go first, obviously. And then, I summon the ally, set the back rows, bluff him, you know? And then pass turn off to the opponent. He has the pre-prep, he has the Masked Beast, he has the widespread, like, he opened the nuts. Using the pre-prep here, he's getting both of his materials to his hand. Curse of the Masked Beast and the Masked Beast. Using, I believe he does it here, yeah. So he discards his monster, summons the Masked Beast, but I floodgate it. I immediately am like, I'm not dealing with that. So it gets floodgated. He discards his one to draw a card, drawing into the Zoma, sets the widespread, sets the Zoma, passes turn. I Night Beam, hitting the widespread, and then I set one card face down, attacking into the defense monster, which is the Masked Beast. The opponent goes into his turn, drawing into the Masked Beast, and then uses, or doesn't use Zoma here, my bad. I draw into the United We Stand, attacking directly for 2300 in case that it's a widespread he didn't use. I'm going to book it, and then you get the direct attack of 2300. And then I'm going to pass turn. Drawing into the Longin, he uses it to draw 1, using the effect of Dark Necrofear to banish his, I believe, 3 materials? Oh yeah, it's plenty, he has 4. He banishes his 4 guys from the graveyard, or 3 guys from the graveyard, and summons this guy in defense mode, and summons the Zoma in defense mode. Which is fine. It's great that we held the United We Stand. Drawing for turn, I draw into the Night Beam. I attack the Zoma, that way I just take the 2300. It's off the field, I'm not too big for it. And then I pass my turn off to the opponent, who draws into another Dark Necrofear. Uses the Curse of the Masked Beast to summon the Masked Beast to the field. Like, this deck is crazy. Like, this deck is actually really, really good. And then he attacks into me, but I have the Nightmare Wheel here, and I stop it in its tracks. I draw for turn, drawing to the Zoma of the Spirit, hit the end phase, or he goes into standby and then takes 500. Opponent draws for turn, drawing into Advanced Ritual Art. Attacks the Dark Necrofear into the Ally of Justice, which I let happen. He takes the life points of 100, and then steals my monster during the end phase. I end up summoning on the end phase, and then drawing for turn. Here's to hoping he doesn't have the Sphere Kribo. I switch the Zoma to attack mode, and then attack into the Ally of Justice. And that's game. That's the match, guys. We did it. We won 2 in a row. Oh, man. This was a crazy, crazy deck. I had so much fun playing against it. Like, I forgot what the deck was until I opened it up. I was like, oh, shit, it's that Masked Beast deck. Oh, my God. Like, not often do I see, like, cool decks like this. And this is a cool one. This is a very cool one. Alright, going into game 3. Alright, so this is my match 3. This is against Ron with 7 Mike. I'm assuming his name's actually Michael Ronwiz, but I don't know. I've seen him play in a couple of showdowns, I think. Definitely a decent player. He's currently in the Speed Duel winner box. I am also in there. If you guys are dueling me, make sure you say hello. And yeah, I think this guy's like a really good duelist from what I've been able to tell. Rook's Table likes him a lot. Like he joined a lot of tournaments. And yeah, he was a decent player when I played against him too. So I just feel like if he was piloting a different deck, he would have done a lot better than what he did in this tournament. Because yeah, at this point I think he's 1-0 or 1-1 because we played it everybody. At this point I'm 2-0. He's 1-1 because he lost against the last guy I played against, and he's playing tunes again. This deck is really neat. Like, this is the one thing I really liked about this. All three decks I played against were unique. They were decks I don't ever see in a regular tournament, and it really makes me wonder how this format would have shaped if we actually got, like, a Banlist from Konami instead of just a Skilleratus. Because it would have been so cool to see, like, tunes as, like, a top-tier deck. Like, I know they were in Duel for a little bit. Why weren't they in Speed Duels? We know why they weren't in Speed Duels, because we have Zoma the Spirit. Because we have Cocoon of Evolution. Anyway, I'll stop complaining. Toon Mermaid gets special summoned. Gemini Elves gets normal summoned. And the contents gets activated to add the Toon Mermaid. Toon Mermaid gets special summoned. And the book gets set. This is Egyptian god territory right here. I use the Summoner's Art. I get an ally of Justice Colossaless. I use the Lure of Darkness. This is going to allow me to draw 2. I bait, sending the Kochi. And then I summon the Spellproof Armor. Now, it's upsetting that, I'm playing against Toons because they attack directly, and Blastsphere is useless against that. And I didn't think about that until after I banished the Kochi. Anyway, he gets Rollback, and Rollback's insane. This card lets you attack twice with any Toon monster. So, he declares his attack by paying 500 life points, and then I end up book-a-mooning it. He also declares his attack by paying 500 life points. I have no out to this, so I will take the 1400 life points. I draw for turn, drawing into the Summoner's Art, think here, and then use the Summoner's Art to grab the ally Justice Colossaless. Summon the Colossaless, use the United We Stand onto this guy, attacking into the Toon Mermaid, and then attacking into the Toon Mermaid in attack position, bring him down to 200 life points. Can't use the book, obviously, that he has set because we have the Spellproof Armor, because this deck is so good. Draws into Toon Mermaid and passes turn off to us, which we end up getting game. So, yeah, that was game 1. Going into game 2, he definitely has a lot more cards going on here. Activating the Toon Table contents, getting the Mermaid, summoning the Mermaid, summoning the Elf, setting the traps. Like, it's crazy. Great opening for him. Drawing for turn, we also have a decent opening. He uses Magic Drain. That way we can, stop, he can stop the thing. But we end up just discarding the United We Stand. Using the Spellproof Armor here, we summon the Ally of Justice, set the 2 trap cards, and then we enter into the battle phase attacking to the Gemini Elf. He has the Zoma face down, but at this point it doesn't necessarily affect us too much. Using the Zoma, he's going to summon it to the field. And then he draws into the Widespread Ruin, which I definitely overlooked that card because I feel like everybody played it except the guy that couldn't play, which was playing Gaia. He can't use that card, so I used the Nightmare Wheel to keep the Zoma in defense mode, and then, get attacked directly for 1400 by the Toon Mermaid. Drawing into the Night Beam, he'll take 500 off the Nightmare Wheel. We'll use the Night Beam here. We'll destroy the set card, which ends up being the Widespread, which is cool to see. We summon the Dekochi and then attack the Zoma the Spirit. We'll take the 1400 life points there and then attack the Toon Mermaid, making him lose 900. Opponent draws into the Toon Gemini Elf, summons it to the field but can't attack with it, but we're just going to floodgate it, that way the Dekochi can just beat over it next turn. Drawing into the Zoma, set it face down, and then we attack with Dekochi, and then we attack directly for game, which is the match. Good game, Rod. Really, really liked it. Had a lot of fun in this tournament. Like I said, let me get out of here real quick. This is the Discord. It's called Speed Duel League, or Speed Duel Tourneys, my bad. It's really cool. There's a lot of stuff going on in here. Yeah, it's just tournaments every month, I think. like every couple weeks, something like that. And like I said, this is Mandelson 2004. If you have any questions about anything, you just like send him a message when you join, let him know. The link for it's going to be in the top of the description. That way you guys can join if you want. If you guys like this type of content, make sure you leave a like. If you like me, make sure you subscribe. And above all, I want you all to stay awesome and have a great day. And I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.